Happy New Year, survivors and thrivers! Welcome to 2023 on the PandemicKnittr channel. My name is Beth. I am a knitter from the suburbs of Chicago, and I will be talking to you today about all the recent things that I've gotten into with knitting and buying stuff that has to do with knitting and all kinds of crafty fun. I also have a special guest coming, and there will be hopefully a little interview. We'll see how that goes. 2023 is coming. I have high hopes for all of my knitting and crafting through the new year, and I'm very excited to get started. Before I get into too much, I want to say something about last episode. I was talking about going to a couple of yarn shops last time, and then I put a picture on the screen that said, you know, something to the effect of, thanks to the 3-ply ladies for meeting up with us to knit. And somehow I could not find where I actually said that in my recording. So that was somehow left out. And so I want to apologize, because it means a lot to me that the 3-ply ladies took the time out of their schedules to meet up with me and my little knit group. So Irene, Joyce, Angie, thank you for meeting up with us and knitting together. We had a great time meeting up with you that day. And since then, Irene and Angie came to meet up with us again, and we met at a place in Marengo called The Fold. This is a place I had never heard of until the ladies in my knit group started talking about it. So at the end, when I show my new to me items, I will be showing some things that I bought there. The next thing I want to talk about is exciting new thing, which I've talked about before, but I'm kind of getting more and more excited about it as it comes near. I am going to be participating in the Burra KAL. This is a knit along that will be done with multiple podcasts, including 3-ply, and I will go ahead. I have not put it in my show notes, but I will add that to my show notes. Look down below in the description box where it says more. You're going to click on that, and that'll pop out all of my show notes that say everything about where to find the patterns for what I've been knitting and where to find, for instance, the Burra KAL. Okay, for entries into the Burra KAL for me, for my channel, I am going to have it on Instagram. But that doesn't mean that if you either don't like posting on Instagram or don't use Instagram, that you can't be included in my my part of the Burra KAL. That's hard to say. Cowl, Burra KAL. Anyhow, if you want to participate, you can post on Instagram with the hashtag PK Burra KAL 2023. So the PK is for PandemicKnittr, Burra for the name of the project, KAL, K-A-L, knit along 2023. If you want to participate, but you do not like to use Instagram for one reason or another, please email me with your photo. Let me know if you're open to allowing me to share that, whether it is on my YouTube channel or on my own Instagram, whatever the case. If you want to be tagged, if you don't want to be tagged, if you want me to say your name, if you don't want me to say your name, you can email me at pandemickknitter@gmail.com. And again, I will go ahead and list below what all the Ravelry groups are and everything like that in order for you to be able to double dip, triple dip. I think there's 10 different podcasters who are participating in this knit along. So when you look at the group as a whole, there's a lot of chances to win prizes. So I don't know yet what I will be doing for prizes. I think what I want to do is quarterly giveaways. So stay tuned for that. At this point, my plan is at the end of March, at the end of June, at the end of September, and at the end of December. So I will be more specific about that in the future, but if you want to cast on, there will be something for newcomers, something for people who stuck it out through the year, and probably what I'll even do is those who have not won a prize that have entered early on, I will go ahead and keep your name in the drawing for that. So, you know, it'll be cumulative entries. So throughout the year, if you enter in January and then I'm drawing again in September, that January entry will still be included. And if you want to give updates as you're knitting and you've gotten more progress, because this is such a time-consuming project, I figure your WIP updates should get some credit. So, you know, let's say we'll have a limit of 2 entries per quarter. So if you want to post a cast on picture and then an end of the quarter picture, fantastic. I will accept both entries. So there we go. So far, that's my half-hearted plan for the time being. And as we go along, I'll get more specifics about what I have to give to you, and perhaps as I go about my business shopping and doing whatever, I will find more things to put into that prize pool. And who knows, I haven't even, like, I don't know, these quarterly prizes that I'm talking about, I don't know what that is. If you like my personal color choices that I've used for the projects that I've worked on, then you'll probably like what I'm planning to give away, because these my browns and greens and blues, that's very likely what I will be giving away. Maybe even something Christmassy. That would be a good one for maybe September, because I love Christmassy stuff, and I think September would be the perfect time to give away something Christmassy. So we'll see what comes along. And I've gone on way too long about this. On to the next thing. Today, I am wearing a finished object, but my special guest, I want to have that as my first finished object, because it actually was finished first, but it wasn't finished by me. My daughter Shannon just completed knitting the Campsite Waffle cardigan by Alexandra Tavel, and hopefully I have an interview with her that I will be inserting right here. Hi, Shannon.
Hi.
I love this cardigan. You did a great job with it. But first of all, why don't you tell the people who you are?
I'm Shannon. I'm Beth's daughter. I'm a photographer and I like to craft in my free time. And yeah.
Okay. And tell us about your knitting history.
I started knitting in 2020, about the same time that you restarted. We did a pair of socks together.
So yes, Shannon's first project was the Shorty, the No Fear Shorty socks by Earthtones girl, Denise. And we did that together because I wanted to learn how to do socks, and I foolishly thought this would be a good first project for her. So I will say using small needles and thin yarn probably is not the best way to learn to knit, but it does like jump you straight in with how to, you know, fix those mistakes and everything like that, because I helped you a lot with that.
Yeah, and I think it made it a lot easier to do other things.
Yeah. So yeah, once you go to the bigger yarn of this is this a worsted weight?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said, I think when we were talking before, you said this is your second project ever in knitting. Like the second project that you started.
Yeah,
anyway.
I started it after the socks.
Yeah. Okay. And tell us the name of the project.
It's the Campsite Waffle cardigan by Two of Wands. I knit it in Malabrigo Rios in the color Cumparsita.
Okay, and tell us about the construction.
It's in panels, so there's 2 front panels and a back panel, and then 2 sleeves that you knit flat, and then you seam it up the sleeve and down the side and on the shoulders, and then there's a collar that you pick up and knit at the end, and there's 2 pockets.
Okay, and if you were to knit this again, not that you are, but if you were, how would you do it differently?
I would make it a lot shorter. I used the smallest size and it was still like huge. It's very long, so I would make it shorter.
Okay. And I know one of the things we talked about is the pocket placement, that your hands don't even reach down to the pockets when you wear it. So I don't know if you can see that on the video when she does the twirl. I don't know if the pockets are really all that visible, but they're like way lower than her hands. So, so yeah, I think I would do that too. I would place the pockets a bit higher so that you can just kind of naturally put your hands into them. But you can still put a phone in that, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't though. I feel like it would just like stretch it out too much.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. And what about future knitting projects or current things that you have on the needles?
I'm working on some socks. And
you said that's using the same pattern? So the Earthtones girl No Fear Shorty sock. Which you're not making them shorties.
No, they're long.
Yeah.
I modified it a little bit. So it's ribbed all the way down the leg.
Nice.
And I'm also making a crochet blanket with like daisy flower granny squares that I'm hoping to make into a picnic blanket.
And you said this one there is not like a pattern for?
Well, I found it on TikTok, just someone who made something like this, and then I was looking for a pattern and I found a YouTube video. There are some, I think, patterns on Ravelry, but I just ended up using the YouTube video.
Okay. And you can send me a link to that I can link below.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
And it's all secondhand acrylic yarn from the secondhand art store that I go to, or art supply store.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you, Shannon. I appreciate you sharing this lovely object for my viewers to see, and hopefully that's good advice for someone who is interested in making a paneled cardigan and doing that fun mattress stitch.
Mm-hmm. I liked that part.
Yeah, it can be satisfying if you know what you're doing. Because I know for me, I had to watch a lot of tutorials in order to feel like, okay, I understand it and I'm comfortable with it. So yeah, that part of things is a little daunting, but once you get the hang of it and you start doing it and you pull it tight, and then you see how everything just kind of comes together and lines up beautifully, yeah, it can be satisfying.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of hard on this part because it was like a stair step, so you had to fit the stairs together, and then it wasn't like the perfect, you just pull it and it's straight.
Yeah, that's, I think I talked about that in one of my videos, because I have another 2 of 1s cardigan that I did that's super long and oversized, but yeah, same problem. I'm still not happy with my shoulders. Are you happy with how yours came out?
I can't really tell. I can't really see them.
Yeah, see, I can totally see mine, and I don't like it, but whatever. All right, so on to the next thing. The next finished object would be my sweater. This is Fallow by Anne Michelle Phelan, and it is knit in Maelstrom Fiber Arts Zebra DK in the colorway Kiwi, and the color work is Nerdy Sheep Fiberworks, and it is a 50-50 blend of wool and alpaca in the natural color of the animals. So I have talked about this yarn a lot with another project that I'm doing, Vesper with a Twist. If you go back 2-3 episodes, I've got more detail on that. I have not touched that. This has been my primary goal since somewhere in November, because I knew that there was going to be an ugly sweater day at school, and I wanted to have it finished for that. And unfortunately, I didn't quite make it. But what I had done is I completed the sleeves. I finished the yoke, attached for the body, or separated for sleeves. How do you say that? I attached after the sleeves, whatever, top-down sweater construction. I did that. And once I had what I needed to make the sleeves, I did that next. So I made the sleeves, and then I tucked them inside the sweater in order to knit in the round for the rest of the body. So on December 21st was our ugly sweater day. Now, I want to clarify that ugly sweater is absolutely in the eye of the beholder. For me, I have never seen anything that I would truly consider an ugly sweater. I love kitschy, corny stuff. I am all about the, felt reindeer with, their heads sticking off and a glow light for the nose, and anything and everything goes. The cornier, the kitschier, the better, in my opinion. I love that stuff. So anybody who wants to call that an ugly sweater, whatever. I embrace ugly sweaters as fun holiday festivity. I never considered this sweater to be ugly. I think the color of this, I have always said it's a Grinchy green. It's got that Christmas feel to it, that kitschy Christmas Grinch feel. And in no way do I feel Grinchy wearing it. I love this thing. I think it's amazing. On December 21st, I had worn it to school, and I know somebody took a picture. I got to get that picture. I got to see if I can get that from the teacher who took it and post a picture. I might have to black out some faces around me, but we had a lot of people pose together for, what do you call it, day? Ugly sweater. Anyway, I wore it. I bound off on the 20th, so whatever day that was, Tuesday, Wednesday, I bound off and just wore it with that, you know, because this is in stockinette all the way down. So it's like rolled up, and it, the teacher who took the picture, even she looked at me and she's like, "You're wearing a cropped sweater?" And I said, "No, I'm wearing an unfinished sweater." So that's what I did. I had the ends woven in on the side here, and it was very clear. I left a big string hanging down so that everybody was fully aware. I admitted to everyone I failed at making my ugly Christmas sweater on time. But that's okay. I'm very happy with the result. I got it finished before the new year, and I'm excited to give it a twirl for you. And I feel like, you know, it's funny, everybody at work was like, "Wow, you knit all those reindeer?" Oh, and I want to say this. I always wondered why it was called Fallow. And I was listening to a podcast totally unrelated to knitting, where the guy was talking about the early days of discovering North America. And he said that somebody had talked about seeing fallow deer on some island, like maybe an island in the Hudson River or something like that. And I was like, wait, fallow deer is an animal? I never heard of that. So I Googled it, and I found out that, okay, if you look at how this has got like all the spots on it, fallow deer have white spots on them. And they are like a very European, they're native to Europe, I believe. So I don't think what this explorer had seen were actually fallow deer. They were probably, you know, whatever deer is native to North America, but he only knew them by that name, I'm assuming. And so now I know why this is called fallow. And I'm wondering now, that makes me think Anne Michelle Phelan must be European. Or maybe she just knew what fallow deer were. I don't know. Maybe I'll put something on the screen if I find out something. In editing, maybe I'll look it up and find out where exactly she's from. So that's this sweater, Fallow by Anne Michelle Phelan. I love it. It came out exactly as I wanted it to. I also want to point out this Zebra DK. I was so fascinated by how this yarn was pooling. All the black was pooling in one spot on the collar. And then as I did the work in the body, everything striped. And I was like, wow, that's so cool how the different circumferences knit up so very differently. The sleeves striped totally all the way down. And the collar was at a circumference where it pooled. So fascinating how that works. I'm sure it's a mathematical thing, based on however far apart they spaced the zebra part of it, wherever they put in the black ply of yarn. So super fascinating. Never done a zebra striped anything before, so it was fun. It was fun to do. It was fun to watch it knit up. So that's Fallow. On to, did I finish anything else? I did not finish anything else, but I did start something else. So a new cast on. I know I mentioned on the last episode that I had the PandemicKnittr and Chicken Lady Fiber Arts Advent Calendar yarn kits. So that was so much fun, opening yarn every day. Chicken Lady Fiber Arts was a 12-day, 20 gram a day, plus one full 100 gram skein. And the way I did that one, I totally cheated. On even numbered days, I would open one each day. So on the 2nd of December, the 4th of December, the 6th of December. So I started with number 1 on day 2 of December. So I wanted to start early. PandemicKnitt's Advent was 25 days of 10 gram minis, and it included 3 patterns. The patterns were a pair of mittens, a cowl, and a hat with ear flaps. And she had pom-poms off strings at the end and a pom-pom on top. So super cute. I saw on the Selfish Knitter YouTube channel, she showed it on her last one, where she had the whole thing complete, and it was super cute. But what I'm doing is I'm putting the Chicken Lady Fiber Arts and the PandemicKnittr kits together in one blanket. So it will be the Creative Advent Throw by Cozy Up Knits. And I started with this one. This is one of the blocks in it. I have not blocked it yet, but it is, the way it's done in their pattern is it is for the Creative Knitter Advent. And so that one is, I think it's a 24 day Advent. And I think it must have like a full skein to knit them together with. I don't really know for sure. But my kits are both DK kits. And in the Advent Throw pattern, they have directions for both fingering weight and DK weight. So I thought, this is perfect. This was day 12 of the Chicken Lady Fiber Arts Advent. And her theme was banned books. And this one was The Secret Garden. And what I like about this is it's very Christmassy to me, because it looks like a Christmas tree. It looks like, you've got your green tree and then like the lights or the ornaments in their colorfulness. But The Secret Garden, I could see as being the same thing, very green with pops of color for like flowers or whatever. And by the way, Lynn, if you're watching, this one, I want full skeins of this one. That's why I started with this one. And then she actually, I thought this was great marketing by her. Chicken Lady Fiber Arts, Lynn, sent a postcard asking what were your 3 favorite colorways of this advent kit that you would like to see made into full skeins. So I know at least 2 that I want. This one, and there was another one that was a brown one, which I have to look at it again to remember what it was. But yes, I want to make a sweater out of this. Anyhow, that's my only whip, right? Let me look. Yeah. That's my only whip. That's my only current whip. I have many things on my needles right now. I will be adding to my whips because I am not going to just do this. That's just not enough for me. So let's talk about what I have that's new. So excited because, had this whole month of fun stuff. I got a couple things for Shannon on Etsy. One of them was stitch markers from Flock Around the Table. I got, there was a random kit of a few of them, and then I also got her, they were like little paw print ones. They were so cute. So I got 3 of those. So I'll see if I can get a picture of those and just insert that here. I also bought her, it was a kit of, so it was a notions kit. It has a tape measure and some stitch markers and a bunch of other things. It has like those little different sized crochet hook type things to help fix any dropped stitches that are on like a keychain kind of thing. So you can just, pick whichever size of knitting needle you're using and just use that size hook to fix your knitting. And I'll take a picture of that. I'll throw it in here. And then the other thing I got her, I bought 2 of them because I liked it enough that I wanted it for myself. So this is from JoJo's Corner, and it is a gauge swatch. I like the idea that you can just box your gauge in, your swatch in to this area. One way it shows 10 centimeters, the other way is inches, 4 inches. I don't remember which is which. Yeah, this is centimeters, this is the inches. And then of course your needle sizer right here. It's got both metric and US sizes. So the one thing on this one, I measured a few different size needles that I have on here, and the size 3 was not matching up for me. So I don't know if that's true of all of them, but on something like this where I know this was done on a lathe or some such thing, I thought I'm going to double check and make sure this matches up with the needles that I have, because I don't want to be blindly, saying, oh, what size needle is this, and go to check it and then realize, oh, it's this that's off. So anyway, I think, oh no, I've got new yarns. I've got new yarns from the Fold. So remember I said I went to the Fold in Marengo. Well, here's a lesson. And this is just my own personal lesson. Others might be different with this, but I know me. And I don't like to go into a knit shop, a yarn shop, without knowing what I want to make. Now, I do know that I want to make the Burra KAL, but I wasn't sure if I was going to find what I wanted there. And they did. They had the little 25 gram minis that, were of that toothy yarn, that toothy wool, that you know, the woolly, sticky stuff that's good for color work. But I wasn't sure I wanted to buy it just yet. So, FYI, not casting on the 1st of January for the Burra KAL unless something happens between now and then. But once I decided, okay, I'm not going to buy the Burra KAL stuff, then I found something else. I found a bulky yarn that I just loved the color of. I couldn't even tell you what it was now. I just know I loved it and I wanted to find a project that I could knit with that yarn. So I started going through Ravelry, standing there in the store, and I'm like, okay, what have I marked that's a bulky pattern? Is there enough yarn here that I can do this? And at some point I was like, I'm not going to stand here in the yarn shop and try to fumble my way through Ravelry and figure out what it is that I want to knit. So I gave up on that and decided I'm just going to get a sock yarn. Every time I go to a yarn shop, especially when it's like a small shop, I feel like I should make some kind of purchase. So I did go with a sock yarn, and then I found another one that I liked. So I got 2 sock yarns. So let me grab it. I've got it over here on the table. So the first one I found was this one by Knitted Wit, and it is these lovely greens, blues, browns, very fall colors, and I just fell in love with this. It is a 85% merino, 15% silk blend, and it is, whoa, it's 550 yards. This is finer than fingering, isn't it? This is like is that a lace weight? I don't know. Because it's 100-gram skein. No, it's a 4-ounce skein. Is 4 ounces different than 100 grams? I don't know. Well, I'll have to find that out. But I was going to make socks with this. I talked to, like I said, Irene and Angie of 3-Ply Podcast were there with us. And I asked Irene her opinion about would this make good socks? And she said that she thought, yes, the silk would sort of substitute for nylon to give it the strength you need for a sock. So I will go ahead and make some nice, soft, silky socks with this. The colorway of this is Olympic National Park. And oh, gosh, I love it to pieces. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Where is Olympic National Park? I don't know where that is. Anyway, Knitted Wit. My last new to me thing is this skein. I believe this is a self-striping skein. I asked the proprietor of the store, and I think she said yes it is, but she might have been talking to somebody else. I don't know. Anyway, it was one of those where I was like, I like the colors enough because I wear a lot of blue, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy this because, hey, I like it. And it's split into 2 50-gram skeins for me already. It's a very reasonable price at $18. And this, I'm going to have to put my glasses on. This is extremely tiny writing on here. I'm looking for the composition of it. 80% merino wool, 20% nylon. And it is 435 yards, 250-gram skeins. It is Echoes Gusto Wool, or is it Gusto? I don't know. Is that Espanol? And the color is number 1508. So not a colorway, but a number. And if there's a colorway listed on here that I can't read, I apologize to the Echoes people, but I can't see that. Anyway, that's everything for today. Thank you for watching. I wish you all the very best of New Year's, and cheers to all of you, and keep on surviving, keep on thriving, and knit along with me. Burra KAL. Hashtag, oh, I didn't include that anywhere in here. For me, the hashtag, I wrote this down because I thought about it before. I didn't write, yes, I did write this down. It is hashtag PK Burra KAL, that's KAL 2023. And that is what you can put on Instagram whenever you post a picture of your whips, finished objects, even if you just buy the yarn for it, even if you just buy the pattern for it. I'm going to talk about that more. Happy New Year. Keep surviving, keep thriving. Happy knitting.